Slacker Motool, single person setup of the sag on your suspension. Don't need any help from friends, family, anyone else like that. You can do it all on your own. First you do attach the slacker to the axle there. Big magnet on the back. It stays stuck on there. Take the strap, position the strap somewhere on the fork leg. This comes in a slacker box with the thing. Basically it's a hook. Turn on the app on your phone. Pull up the cable, hook it on there, press the slacker, turn the slacker on. As soon as you turn it on, it will react with your app. Go into the app, press the slacker button, icon here, and this is your bike. Okay. Go to the front of the bike. This bike is held in a wheel chock at the moment, so I'm going to stand on the wheel chock. I don't want to lift that up, and I'm going to press auto 0, and you'll see that I'm told to lift the front of the bike up. Press auto 0. I'm told to lift the bike. I lift the bike on its suspension, and I drop it back down again. I lift it on its suspension again, and I drop it back down again. And I do that a third time, just to see what the average is. I store that as static zag. Select note. We go into here, new note. Save. And update static sag, and it puts that figure there into the static sag figure. Next I get on the bike. Full gear, so helmet, leathers, boots, the whole lot, because those things will weigh an awful lot. And you can see the sag is changing there as I sit on the bike. Feet up off the pegs, into the pegs. Full weight on the bike. Okay, and this is my rider sag. Okay, so I attach that and rider sag. Now those readings that appear there are generic readings. They're the wrong readings for this bike. This bike actually has a fork travel of 140 millimeters at the front. So in that case my sag should be 1/3 of that, which is 45 millimeters. No, 49 millimeters. Okay, so now I'm going to adjust the preload on these here and adjust the sag, and you'll see the sag change as I adjust the preload. More sag, so therefore I need to back off my preload. So I'm going to undo the preload, and I'm going to undo that by one turn, fork leg. That's one turn. one turn, and I just move up and down on the forks, and you can see that it's changed to 37. I'm going to do another. So one turn was roughly 6mm. I'm going to do another turn. Now I know when I set these, I set them exactly as the handbook says, which is 3 turns in from the fully out. Slacker up on. Turn the slacker on. Okay, the slacker is now attached to the rear wheel of the bike, and the cable goes just to there, if you can see it, and I've hooked it on part of the frame there rather than the plastics. Plastics tend to move, as you can see. Sorry about the light there. Move, as you can see. So hook it on a frame, something that can't move. You turn the slacker on. It starts up. It will now automatically feed through to the app that you've turned on already, and we're ready to set the preload. Now I've already set this preload here as per the manufacturer, which is 19mm. So we're going to run through the same process again, whereby we lift up the back of the bike to get rid of all the weight off the wheel after auto zeroing it, let it settle to get a static sag, and then we'll get on it to find the rider sag. So again, we press auto zero. I'm instructed to lift the bike. This time I lift the back of the bike as far as I can to take all the weight off the suspension and let it drop down again. And that says 15mm. I do that another time. And we're still on 15mm. And I do that one more time. I just bounce it up and down to lose any stiction, and we're now on 15mm. Now the back of this is 140mm of travel as well, if I remember correctly. So we want another 45mm or so of rider sag when we're on here. So helmet on again. Sit back on the bike, and we've got 45mm, 46mm there already, so I can update my rider sag on the rear. There we go, and we update the rider sag. That pops that in there. That's the back, 45, 46, 47. Sit back, but actually this is the position that I normally ride in, so that's for reading 45 at the moment. If I sit back, obviously I've got more weight over the back wheel, so it drops down to 49 again, but I'm sitting like this. I drop off, and I'm back to 17mm of static sag, and I just update that, and that stored that for me. That stored my readings in there now, and I can just close that. I can go into that bike, and I've got my readings stored in there, and I can add setup notes in here as well as to what the static sag, rider sag was, things like tyre temperature, track temperature if you're into track days, and what the preload was, and so on. So we go back to this bike here. You can see that I've got in there what my rider sag was on that bike, what my static sag was on that bike. It was actually this bike as well. And I've got what my rebound compression is, and my compression is. My rebound compression for the front I haven't set yet. And if I have a look at the notes, whoops, go into current settings, I can see I've got a note down here that the advised settings in the app are generic settings, and you need to get the actual suspension travel movement from your reader's manual, your owner's manual. Okay, and that's it.